Hello everyone, let's talk about a pretty decent shooter, RoboCop Rogue City. One of the game's biggest strengths is its atmosphere. If you've seen the classic RoboCop films, you already know the vibe. Detroit as a broken, crime-infested city the state has basically abandoned. Policing, social programs, everything has been handed over to the OCP Corporation. The city turns into a playground for privatizing things that were once public. The game clearly tries to recreate that dark, satirical tone. It doesn't hit it perfectly every time, but it gets close enough to feel authentic. And of course, the familiar soundtrack does a lot of heavy lifting here, instantly triggering some serious nostalgia. The core of the game is the shooting, and it's handled fairly well. It's far from perfect, but mowing down enemies feels satisfying. There are plenty of them. Things are constantly flying and exploding around you. The ability to blow up barrels, pick up different weapons, and hurl environmental objects, of which there are usually many, adds some variety. You won't get bored here. The game includes a progression system. Each level gives you a skill point to invest in one of 8 branches. Some unlock abilities or strengthen combat and defense. Others help in dialogues or exploration and item finding. There are also several active abilities that bring extra dynamism to the gameplay. On top of that, there's an upgrade system using schematics. You'll find schematics on levels, and each has free slots where you can place power modules with bonuses. The challenge is to connect as many beneficial slots as possible while avoiding the negative ones, essentially a small optimization puzzle. The story is fairly linear. It's a bit absurd, a bit gloomy, and only mildly twisty. You can't really call it gripping, but it does its job. It moves you forward. You always know where to go, who to shoot, and what you're doing. There are dialogues, too. You'll interact with various characters, accept and complete quests. Some choices don't change the story in a big way, but they can influence the fate of certain characters. It helps break up the otherwise repetitive gameplay loop. That said, the game sometimes lacks dynamism. Shooting enemies can start to feel like shooting targets at a range. RoboCop moves like a tank. Slow, unstoppable, but not exactly agile. The problem is that this tank can barely maneuver. The shooting mechanics aren't quite polished enough to justify such limited movement. More mobility and a proper cover system would have helped a lot. Outside of the main pistol, all other weapons feel secondary. You can pick them up and use them until they run out of ammo, but you can't keep a favorite gun with you. Everything except the pistol is temporary. Meanwhile, the pistol itself can be upgraded through schematics until it effectively becomes a death-spitting machine gun with infinite ammo and no reloads. Some locations repeat. Returning to the police station makes sense. It's essentially your hub, but being sent to the same Detroit street for the 3rd or 4th time gets tiring fast. It's dull to comb through the same spaces again and again, handing out fines or lecturing vagrants. There isn't a ton of content overall. Even on the highest difficulty, the game can be finished in about 10 hours. Toward the end, it even starts to drag a bit. Rogue City captures the atmosphere of the original film surprisingly well, blending a bleak, satirical Detroit with a nostalgic soundtrack and enjoyable gunplay. The progression system, dialogues, and quests add some variety, but the linear story, sluggish movement, and repeated locations take a toll. The combat occasionally feels like a shooting gallery, and secondary weapons never shine next to the overpowered pistol. In the end, the game delivers a few hours of atmospheric but fairly repetitive action that starts to wear thin as you approach the finale. Overall, the game is decent. It will definitely appeal to fans of the films and offers around 10 hours of fairly relaxed gameplay, especially for players who are tired of overly complex and bloated titles. Thank you for watching. Play good games, stay healthy, and may you have peaceful skies overhead.